Hello everyone, Hammaneggs here. I've been working on and off a very British route, this layout in rolling line, and so this is just kind of a model update, I suppose. So you might notice that the frame rate's getting rather low because, well, the layout has been improved, it's gotten larger. For the most part, this section over here remains the same. I do need to figure out how to do some dockside cranes. Oh, hold on, let me remove this. There we go. I have been adding the new flowers that Goochpunk added, as well as some little details with various props around here. Because there have been some updates to this game, and I'm trying to use them as best as I can. So we have more of these shapes. I was previously just using these 5 shapes over here, and then none of these existed before. Now they do, and that's really useful for making buildings. There's embankments for tracks, which I haven't really experimented with too much. And there are these props. We have some deserts, these pink flowers that I showed earlier. A type of grass that you can change the color of as opposed to the old ones somewhere in here. There they are. These ones you can't color, so the new ones you can, which is pretty fantastic. So embankments, yeah, you can place these just right on the track until form embankments underneath them. Yeah, we have some gates, some trash cans, a new type of light, another palm tree. Oh yeah, we can make objects transparent. Not really useful for that though. I can show you a use case of them later on. A lot of people are just experimenting with them for water, but they apply to various props. We have a new station platform piece, which could be useful. Probably not going to be what I use a whole lot just because of my own style. And there's all these new gas props added. So that's pretty much that in terms of the drawers. So yeah, this whole section hasn't changed very much. I do need to figure out how to do a bridge here at some point. I think I'm going to wait to see what more gets added to the game and then work on that. You've seen all this before in that running session I did. And here's where things start to have changed a little bit. I added this, which will go off into other parts of the layout later on. I think I'll just finish this room and then upload it to the Steam Workshop before I work on anything back there, which would be kind of a part 2 to the layout. I added a little kind of ravine here just to have another opportunity to use bridge pieces, and I'm working on a road back here. I have added a little industrial yard here. I would very much like a brick red texture for this factory though. But yeah, so there's some kind of liquid processing, some scrap. I was actually experimenting with the idea of using a token system to run along this section, like in some real-life railroads, but decided it wasn't practical. This is the other branch that goes off into the rest of the layout. I've started working on a lumber industry here. Not sure what I'll do for the building here, but the general idea is that this is going to be where the lumber's cut, and then the part on the far side, that mine industry, is just kind of a very basic sawmill that these would get processed from and then carried to, international ports or just a goods station. I also have this basic station platform. I'm not sure if I want to run it as an active station or not. I might just have it kind of as a station used for heritage routes, and then some older kind of abandoned or disused neighborhood around here. Maybe some old industry. I have worked on this rock face all along here. Oh, by the way, this section is probably going to have a lot more trees just to go with that theme. I experimented with using tables as a wooden trestle and it worked out fairly well, I think. It's kind of a bizarre usage of the prop, but it works. So yeah, I have a passing track here, which you can also use for shunting. I have this line that goes down to join to the main line. A side industry that I might remove and just detail this area more, or I'm not sure. I know I'm going to do something with it, but I don't know what. Here is a goods platform. So the idea behind this is you can see an oil industry here, but this entire area here is going to be a city. So back in the day, trains used to deliver goods to main stations, like to some local industries. I think there's a famous case of like a beer industry or something doing business at King's Cross by moving their cargoes in and off trains, and I think they still have a traditional events that they hold at some infrequent interval. But that's going to be just this side, and then there's going to be some small industry in between on here. I'm trying to work out hierarchies for all the different goods and freight so I can just have various things done with them. I have this long passing track back here. A lot of the track, actually I think the entire track work had been laid out at previous points, like before the video that I did the writing session. There might have been some small changes, but it pretty much remains the same. So here's the tram line that goes through the city. We don't have trams yet in the game, but when modding comes, or perhaps a expansion, that's what's going to be running here. Just some trams kind of running through this city that I've worked on. I've made a bit of an old acropolis of some sort. A little watch post or signal box, kind of modernized. A few shops along here. Here's a cutting cover section with some office buildings next to it. And here's the station that we did some operations to in the writing session video that I did previously. I've added some glass roofs. I'm not quite sure I'm happy with how I did this section. I might keep it for now and just redo it later on. But if we go down onto the platform, that's fairly interesting. The stairways are kind of long just because I think we need some official staircases in the game. It's really hard to make them just normally. But you can see I have a helipad here, the kind of main old station building with ticket offices. I should probably do something more on this side, but I really have no idea. And yeah, so the city is just going to kind of continue into here. And that's mostly it. I did mention the signal blocks there. I have started to work out how I might do kind of signaling operations, even though they aren't actually in the game. So for example, if I go into first person at this window, you can see fairly clearly there's a switch here, another switch there, and one way over there. So this can be kind of an old switching tower that was modernized as part of an office building just for this section of cutting cover. And then this one has a huge commanding view of a large section of track. Obviously the crossover here going up along the backside of the mountain into the tunnel that goes through the mountain over there. Another crossover, the extension to the dock, and this shunting yard here. And so that's the view from that. So presumably at some point you would probably in multiplayer or in some other mode when the game gets some updates on train AI or something, then you'd be able to use that. Now I've also done the same thing over here at this little box. So from this window you can see most of the operations along this lumber and mine yard. You can't really see all the way down here, but presumably you would have some levers, and since it's a fairly small operation, the train driver could do a lot of the work. Then on the other side of it, you have a view of this entire section, roughly where the other post stops having line of sight, so you can start controlling operations once trains get off the main line, all the way up into the dockyard, which you start viewing from this window, as well as the switch off to these sections back here. I haven't really figured out what I'm going to do with the rolling stock in it so far. I think I'll wait for mods before I have an official rolling stock set, but I will probably start off with just the default trains as the rolling stock when this map does get released, just so there's a general idea of where everything is, what's meant to go where, so people can be set up for their general switching operations and their passenger lines. I really want trams just so I can see the rail cars going along the city. I think that'd be really neat. So that's been an update to this layout. There's quite a bit of work to go out on this backside. But that's pretty much it. I've been Hammaneggs. Thanks for watching.